Here we are looking at the patent space as a big picture overview for augmented reality headsets. As we are focusing on Microsoft HoloLens, the blue circles represent Microsoft's patents, and the red circles represent the patents from Microsoft's competitors. The size of the circles indicates the importance of the patents. Now we are in VR, looking at the patent space specific to eye tracking. We can see that there are certain areas where the patents cluster around. We also see that the size of the blue circles in the patent space are pretty small compared to the red circles. This shows that Microsoft is still pretty new to the space compared to its competitors and is still developing its patents. Now, we are going to dive into one of the competitors' clusters. In this cluster, there are three main patents belonging to Elbit, Samsung, and a private individual. The three patents focus on how to track the user's eyes and its line of sight, and adjust the image it shows based on knowing how the user's eye is moving. The Samsung patent, filed in March 2007, talks about how the device is able to adjust the image display based on the interpupillary distance of a user. The Elbit patent, dated July 2008, attempts to determine the line of sight of the user by looking at the pupil as a reference point. Now we have the patent filed by an individual, dated June 2009. The invention tracks where the eye is moving and changes the image and the environment behind the image based on the movements of the user's eye. Looking at the size and the location of these three patents, we can tell that they are all pretty important as they relate to the fundamentals of tracking the user's eye. Now we will jump to a different area of the patent space. This patent is titled Head-Mounted Display with Eye Tracking Capabilities, and it was filed in August 2002. This invention relates to head-mounted optical eye tracking apparatus, and in particular to a method and apparatus for the display of a virtual image to a user's eyes, while tracking at least one of the user's eyes to detect its sight direction. Now we will look at one of Microsoft's patents in the space. This patent, dated December 2015, attempts to profile the user by performing an iris scan. This is to improve the user experience as it can automatically bring up user preferences. Microsoft is going beyond the basics of a headset and tries to improve the end-user experience and is focusing on bringing a product to market. So this is just a short overview of the patent space for the eye tracking component. Other components of an AR headset, such as 3D speakers, depth sensors, processors, and software patents, can be analyzed in a similar way. Ideally, a company would be able to perform such an analysis to see which areas of a patent space are not currently being occupied.